Greetings, travelers. Come warm yourself by the fire and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, Tales of Tamriel. I am your host, Aggelos, and I am joined by the one, the only Arkhaniir Silvershield himself. How are you, sir?
Well, doing sleepy. Other than that, great. How are you?
Sleepy? We're like an hour late. You should have had plenty of sleep.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's not like I was taking notes of something very, very important for the show, but yeah.
No. I figured you were just napping the entire time, but hey, you know, whatever. Yeah. I think this week we got a little bit of fun in place because we have a good bit of tales, I think. At least I do, at least some funny stories at least, as well as some news from the new daily rewards, which are pretty cool, as well as some Murkmire stuff. Fun indeed. And of course, before we jump into the show, of course, I have to say thank you to the awesome people who support our show. Over at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork, we have Nicholas and Patrick supporting us there. Thank you so much for that. As well as Happy Hansel upped his pledge this month. Thank you so much, Happy. You are amazing as always. And of course, on Twitch, who support us at twitch.tv/dungeoncrawlernetwork. We've got, and there's a couple people here, Artemis89, Quellic, Ishabu, Faruza, Surigard, and Bernie, as well as I pull them up, where are they? B-Dog52 and Bad Lad Jr. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting us over there at twitch.tv/dungeoncrawlernetwork. You do help keep the metaphorical torches lit and us going around stabbing elves, which is a worthy cause. I mean, come on now.
It is.
And of course, for all those who do support us monetarily, you actually gain access, if you are part of our Discord, to our DCN supporters channel, where sometimes they throw stuff out there, like things I'm working on, as well as getting all of our podcasts early. So you get everything before everyone else does. So, hey, nothing as cool as that, you know? Sitting there talking about our shows, and people are like, but there's no show yet. But you've seen it. Guess what? Fun times. Arkhaniir, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I mean, I'm doing good. I wasn't aware that we were about to get these Murkmire news. So I was asleep. Like, throughout this entire presentation stream, I was asleep. And I woke up to this, and I was like, okay, that is good, but we don't have time. But I'm glad we started a little bit late. So I got a chance to, you know, wrap this all up so we can talk about it now. So I'm excited to talk about these.
Absolutely.
A lot to discuss now.
No, I mean, hey, that works out. I'm glad that, like, we're coming into this a little later than we normally do because we wanted to watch some of the PAX West footage that they were showing, so to get that stuff out of the way. But before we do any of the news, Ark, what have you been doing in ESO this week?
Oh, man. So, you know, I've been talking about my plans for my new Warden tank, which can also heal, right?
Sexplar 2.0, I gotcha.
No, it's not called that. We are not gonna call that. Not ever, not anytime soon. No, not gonna happen.
Well,
but yeah,
if you're willing just to fail, then that's fine, I guess.
I haven't been failing, to be honest. Like, that thing has been working so very nicely. I've been trying it out in pledges, veteran hard mode pledges all around, with pugs and with pyramid groups with different styles. And it has been working. So.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we even, like, so, at first I tried it with Ugo, Isha, and a friend of Ugo's. So 3 DPS. Isha didn't have her gear at all. So she was, like, basically random drop sets. Ugo is a good DPS. He understands the concepts, and he's actually very good at staying alive, keeping us alive, and dealing a lot of DPS. And Ugo's friend also wasn't like, she apologized at the beginning, like, I'm sorry, I suck, and so I suppose she didn't have too much DPS either. But we completed veteran banished cells, if I remember correctly, in hard mode, and veteran Blackheart Haven in hard mode. no problem at all. And then I went on to try it with the
Were those the
pugs
pledges today?
Oh no, this is from the last week or so.
Oh, because I think those were also
Yeah.
the pledges today, which was just
Oh,
funny.
it could be.
I was like, you did it
No,
before the show?
I didn't play today.
Okay.
No. So I also tried it with the Veteran Imperial City Prison with randoms, actually. So with pugs. So I decided, like, okay, I need a challenge, right? So I logged in. I mean, I queued up for Veteran Imperial City Prison, which was the pledge at the moment.
Yeah.
And I joined, and they are at the boss with who spawns the zombies from the, or not zombies, but the Atronachs from the pool in the middle. You have to throw like mud balls at them.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're there. They kicked. Apparently, their tank left, or they kicked them. I don't know. And they're like, "Come join us." So I run there. We try, and in our initial attempt, we fail because there's no stopping zombies. I don't know what was going wrong. So the 2 DPS decides they want to vote kick the healer because they say, okay, he's not doing anything. If we see him, he's just trying staying there, right? So I'm like, okay, let's not do that because I don't like kicking people out of dungeons or leaving as long as I have a choice. And I haven't seen the guy actually perform, right? So I was like, okay, let's not do that. Let's try. So we strategize. We, do a little bit of like, okay, you are going to hit the boss, you are going to hit the ads, and you are going to, like, you are on mud ball duty. You are going to be throwing mud balls. That's your job. And that actually worked after a couple tried. Like, we started to synchronize, right, properly. So the frequency was starting to get better between us. So we actually completed that. And from that on, we didn't really have a problem. No one blamed no one. So it was like it was like a normal run. It was going good. And we actually made it to the final boss. And at that point, obviously, Imperial City Prison, it's a very difficult dungeon to, at least that last fight, without being on the comms or everyone knowing exactly what they're supposed to do. And apparently I forgot the dungeon as well, so I don't know what to do either. So it takes a little bit of time, but we eventually figure everything out too. We just couldn't do hard mode there because, like, you have to, in hard mode, those portals have charges, right? So you have to really take out a plan about who's jumping into the portal and who's going to sacrifice themselves and things like that. So because of that, we didn't do hard mode, but we eventually cleared it in Veteran with a pug group. And the DPS that wanted to kick healer actually apologized to the healer and went like, okay, I'm sorry, we tried to kick you, like, you're a good healer. And the other guy was like, okay, no worries about it. And there was this wholesome moment. So I'm calling that dungeon run the fight, the redemption, the forgiveness, and the success. Because it was all those in a single dungeon run. And it was like, I was reading chat, and I'm like, they are okay with each other now. So that was the highlight of my, I guess, last couple of weeks in terms of dungeon runs.
And that's a pretty weird experience overall, to be honest. I mean, come on now. Normally, it doesn't go quite that well.
Yeah, it's usually more swearing and more trying to kick everybody from dungeons, especially in a pug group. So this was like the fact that the guy apologized, we actually pulled through the entire dungeon, and the other guys were okay with it. Yeah, I loved it. So if you guys in any way are listening to this show, I don't know if you do. I don't even know if they actually spoke much English because it didn't seem like it in the dungeon. But if they do, hey, shout out to you guys for actually being mature about it and, like, not clinging to the bad side of the fight.
Gotcha.
So other than that, though, we've been doing, like, with Isha, Ugo, and whoever is the third DPS. Sometimes we pug, sometimes a friend of mine joins us. We've been actually doing a lot of 3-man dungeons in Veteran hard modes. We've done Steel of Ash. Actually, we've been doing pledges. I don't know. We done Steel of Ash, Banished Cells, Blackheart Haven. What else we did we do? We done a bunch of these. I don't know. So basically, Silvershield clan on European side is slowly going active. We got Isha her gear as well. At least a starter gear. So Night Mother's Gaze, Hunting's Rage, and agility jewelry.
Yep, and
for the moment.
she's stamina, I assume.
Yeah, she's a stamina warden at the moment.
Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds like a good starter right there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think we copied from Alcast or Voiler, one of those. I don't know. But yeah, I mean that's been going pretty great. We ran veteran hard mode Waltz of Madness with Ophelia, just her DPSing and me tanking and healing at the same time. And we actually completed it without, I think with just one. No, we didn't wipe at all. I died a couple times, but she was able to burn the boss through before anything, like before we wiped. So we've decided to do some 2-man dungeon completions, at least non-DLC dungeons in veteran hard modes, with just Nika damaging and me tank healing. So that's gonna start next week. We'll see how that goes. Other than that, I think that's about it. Oh, we did veteran White Gold Tower in hard mode as well, with just 3 DPS, Ugo, Isha, and I don't remember who was the third DPS. I'm sorry. It was Geo. So he's also the crazy DPS, one of the crazy DPSs of Drunkenborns. But yeah.
Oh, nice.
Basically, it works. Yeah, tank healing works.
Depending on what the fight is, I know that can be done, because I know Esteldian did that quite a bit too. But he played a Templar tank, and so he was doing a lot of his builds were this hybrid. I'm gonna do a little bit of everything kind of deal, I guess. So.
I'm inspired by Lotus OD mainly, but he's running a Dragon Knight, and I don't know how they are doing it with the Dragon Knight, because Dragon Knights doesn't get a heal. Like, you have to stick to Vigor and your damage shields, and that's it. But I've just seen Lotus OD complete Veteran March of Sacrifices without a healer. So I'm like, hey, if he can do it,
if you can keep
I should be able to do it.
If you can keep major mending up, you'd be surprised how much Vigor actually does. You could do
it heals a lot, but the problem with Vigor is everybody has to be where you are. So when you are separated from each other, you are not going to be able to heal people with Vigor. Now, Warden has an AoE, just like the Healing Springs. It doesn't work like Healing Springs, but you aim it like Healing Springs. So it's basically a circular AoE that you just throw at a distance, right? So I can heal people even if I'm not there as a Warden, but with just Vigor, you can only heal the people around you. I mean, it does heal a lot, yeah, but they still need to be around you, so I don't know. But if he can do it with a Dragon Knight, I should be able to do it with a Warden.
I would imagine so, because Warden is kind of this all-around. I still have not leveled my Warden. I tried. I can't do it. I don't know. Again,
is it because leveling a new character? Like, you can't level a new character, or you can't level a Warden?
See, now I have leveled other characters already, but only one. I think it was a Stamina Sork or whatever. But even that wasn't enjoyable to me. So yeah, it's more than just that. Like, I'm not a multiple character kind of guy. I'm very much a one and done kind of dude.
Oh yeah. You know me, I am similar as well.
Yeah.
I just needed this Warden, like it had to happen.
Sure.
And here's what I figured out. You remember how I'm like for the last few months, right? People have been hearing me say I am feeling burned out of ESO.
Yeah.
Apparently I wasn't burned out of ESO. Okay. I was burned out of Dragon Knight tank, because that's all I played for the last 4 and whatever years.
Yeah.
I've only solely played a Dragon Knight tank. That was it. Same skill bar, same sets, same playstyle for the past 4 years. So apparently I was burned out of Dragon Knights, not the game itself. Well, so now that I'm playing a Warden and entire playstyle changes, I'm like, oh man, I want to actually sit down and do more dungeons, do more pledges. But yeah, it's a new life.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is definitely something that it's like a new game for you at that point, you know? I get you. I mean, I don't know. I don't have quite that issue when it comes to just the class or whatever, but no, I can see where that would, where you'd come from with that. Like, hey, I've been doing this for so long. I mean, I'm in a similar boat. My Templar I've been a Templar since, oh my, the alphas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a while. And, yeah, I just love the Templar, so I have no issue just staying on Templar forever, essentially. And that's what I've been doing, is I don't do anything other than Templar. But I guess some people do need the mix-up or whatever. But for me, it comes down to when I'm playing my Templar, I'm playing myself, because it's my person. So whenever I jump to another character, it's just kind of like, this isn't me. This isn't me. So I can't get into it. It's almost like a role play type of thing. I cannot get into the characters when I know it's not something that I've designed to be me. And that's how I
can understand
role
that,
play,
yeah.
I guess. Well, I'm not a tavern player, but
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
There's something you missed. You didn't say hello to chat.
I did not say hello to chat, and I actually thought about that. I'm like, I should say hello to chat, but I didn't. So I feel bad for that. One thing I do feel pretty good about is while I was sitting here doing the Litany of Blood, I found Irki. And
You found who what?
Irki, the Khajiit merchant. Now, I said that because Thais just walked out of the room. I tried to say it loud enough so she could hear it, but she loves Irki. Irki, you find her. The first place we found her, because she's in the Aldmari Dominion Zone, okay? So when we played the Ebonheart Pact, obviously, all the way through, you weren't going to naturally find her because she doesn't appear in anything outside of Dagger or Aldmari Dominion.
Aldmari Dominion.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm getting a little tongue-tied because I'm trying to kill these things without getting caught, and now I have a big bounty on my head. But hey, whatever. It's cool. It's cool. But Irki is this female Khajiit who you find in Cold Harbor. Because remember, when you go to Cold Harbor, a bunch of people come with you to join the assault on Cold Harbor. Now, this was like 4 years ago that...
Yeah, I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, but this was something my wife found, and she loved it because you talk to the people in the city, and Irki, she's like, what do you want to buy? She's all depressed. And you're like, so why are you depressed, Irki? And she's like, because I can't stop thinking about the beautiful dark elf with the I don't know. So she loves this other dark elf. And she's like, and I'm so distraught because I keep bringing her presents and she does not, show me that she loves me. And then you go to talk to the elf, and she's like, you got to save me from this weird cat. She keeps leaving dead skeevers at my door because she's a cat, right? So she's leaving dead mice at the door, and cats do that for the owners they care about, right? They'll drop their prey off for, as a, like, hey, look what I caught for you. Well, so she's essentially being a house cat in this area, and it just cracked me up because she's like, I've done everything. I've left her presents. Like all these things cats do that you're like, but like they love you for doing that, and it's just it's funny. She's like, I've rubbed up against her leg. Like she just doesn't love me, and it's like, oh, there she is. Thanks. I found Irki.
I can't understand the perspective of the dumber though. Like a Khajiit just rubbing off your leg.
I have not found your buff Argodian, but I did find Irki in the actual world. She is before you get to Cold Harbor. She is in not there. Hold on. She is in Malabal. No, not Malabal Tor. I know. There it is. She's in Marbrook in Green Shade.
6 maps later.
I know, but she's in here. She's actually, you can actually find her
I love Irki.
Where is she at? I just saw her a second ago.
She's like one of the two cats.
Yep,
Like,
one of the two cats. Well, she's actually like right here. Is that not one of the cats you like?
right now, he is definitely on my crap list.
It's because you were talking about another cat, and therefore you got bit. That's because you were talking about loving another cat, not him. Our Khajiit Titus, while she was here talking about Iriki with me, she's he did not like the fact that she was not paying attention to him, so she just came up behind her and bit her on the back of the leg. So yeah, so I did find Iriki. She's in Marbrook. She's not as interesting there. She really just has the generic NPC dialogue because she doesn't get the interesting dialogue till she goes to Cold Harbor and meets the dark elf. But I thought it was fascinating nonetheless that I was able to find her. I have not got a ton of time to play overall. Like this is day 2 of this week. But technically speaking, I've not been doing much of anything. Most people know I've also been playing World of Warcraft with the new Battle of Azeroth. Yeah. I could say that is not the reason why I didn't play ESO this week, because I didn't even play that this week. So I didn't really.
You shouldn't play that. Let it die.
Oh no!
Let the game die in peace.
A lot of fun, and I love Sylvan. Anyway, this isn't a WoW show, but I only had enough time to do one thing. So I was streaming last night, and I decided, well, what am I gonna do? I started looking through my list of stuff. I still want to do. I've done every quest in the game that I know of. Like, if you look at my quest journal or whatever, and it's completely maxed out. I do every once in a while find the one-off quest here or there, like that I'm amazed that exist. Like last episode when I was just wandering around outside Somerset, and there's just a random quest. Or no, it wasn't. It was Green Shade. And there was just a random quest. I'm like, how did this? Anyway, I apparently
Maybe
missed
they added them later.
I don't know.
So you never saw them.
I could have swore I had been through that area. Like, I know I've been through that area.
I have to say this. Your green screen is picking up some of your head. And now you have a giant hole in your head.
It's picking up the text behind it.
There, I can read chat through your head. Nope. Oh, man, now it's gone.
Nope, I hit it.
I was enjoying that.
That's pretty funny, though. It's the lighting in here. I actually need to get a new light in general, because I have one that works really well, but then I just have a little light that does pretty good job as well. But anyway, it's neither here nor there, I guess, at this point. But while looking around at things to do, I realized there's 2 things. I'm going to start doing achievements, which, as you can see, I'm actually working on it now. Litany of Blood is one that I was working on because I've had it in there since Dark Brotherhood, where you have to find these people that they give you a book and they give you these little hidden marks or whatever to try to find, and they're just hidden throughout the world, and it's actually pretty interesting. The other one I did was the Librarian quest, finally, going and getting all the rubbings in Morrowind, and I think I was streaming that for like 4 hours to find them all, because I tried my best not to look it up. Like, I was like, no, we're gonna do this without looking up. I had been wandering for like 2 hours and only found like 1 or 2. And I'm like, it's so weird because it doesn't give you a clue. Well, actually, it does give you a clue. When you go to the library itself, you can look at the model of Vardenfell, and there's actually these big missing squares. Those big missing squares are actually where the tomb can be found.
Oh, that never occurred to me.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
So you can kind of get an idea of when you look at it and see a big empty square, because it looks like it's a model, like a model city or whatever, and then there's just a big square chunk completely out of it.
Yeah.
That's where you have to go to get the actual rubbing.
That makes sense. I should actually complete that myself now that I know that piece of information.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look around, I did that for a little bit, and then I started looking them up, but it still took me about 4 hours or so. Yeah, so that was a fun quest overall, I can say, to finish. And I finally did get that done, which then meant I got the librarian title. I got the Savior of Morrowind, because that was the only thing I didn't have done yet to complete Morrowind. And I also got the model of Vardenfell for my house, which was also cool.
Nice.
Now, Litany of...
Is your house still empty?
No. All the
Okay, at
boxes
least
are
that's
lined up as soon as you enter the house.
Oh,
Like,
great.
literally,
Okay,
as soon as you
boxes,
spawn
that's-
in, it's in like a semicircle moon crescent just around your body. You don't even have to move from the front door, and you have access to all the housing chest items, it's for storage, right?
So you bought Daggerfall Overlook, one of the most expensive houses in the game so far.
And
to
also
utilize just the first, 10 square meters. That's it.
Yeah, and also the one in Deshaun. No, not Deshaun. The other 3 million, the Dark Elf 3 million. So I own 2 of the...
The Ebonheart Chateau.
Yep, I have that one too.
Yeah. Not utilizing that at all?
Oh,
that
yeah,
at
no, they're
I
all
assume?
empty. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I just like to throw money at it and then make people cry that they're like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't afford
exactly,
anything, and I have 3 of the noble houses.
Honestly.
It's really me just saying I'm better than everyone else.
Where are you making all that money from anyway? I've never understood this.
Drops and utilizing the...
You can't sell anything that drops in this game. Everything is bind on pickup.
No. World drops aren't, but I made a killing with rings and stuff prior to... Well, when jewelry crafting first came, I sold every ring I could get my hands on until I started trying to level it. So I made probably close to 6 million gold doing that. Because at one point in time, you were especially if you got it did a dungeon or whatever and got one of the purple rings, those were selling for almost 100,000 or more. Easy,
man. One day I'll be rich as well. In a distant future, far, far away.
In probably a completely different game. So anyway,
Yeah.
it's so yeah, I made a lot from that. So that works well. But I also use Tamriel Trade Center and find things that are cheap, buy them, and then relist them. So I buy tempers and stuff cheaper and relist. It takes a little bit of time to do, but if I can find something just a little less that I know sells quickly, that's what I do.
I used to be able to do that, but then people started selling them for so cheap. So cheap. I can't do it anymore.
You need to have at least a certain level, even with the fees and stuff like that, you have to make sure that the buffer... I'll sell something if it's even 500 gold more. If I'll make a 500 gold profit, especially on tempers, I'll do it. Because I can make 100 tempers and sell them all. And, even 500 gold at that point is 50,000. If I did my math right. Yeah, I did. Okay. But it has to be on items that are actually going to sell. Some items don't sell.
Right.
So... it's kind of risky picking those up because you're like, if they don't sell, they don't sell. But tempers always sell. Plants always sell.
Yeah. Pay attention, people. These are tips from a guy who was never poor in ESO at all. For the past 4 years that I've known him, he was always, and I mean always, rich.
Don't you remember the episode we did where we talked about housing and I was like, I think the large houses should be about 50 million. Because I'm like, the average wealth of an ESO player is 5 million gold, and people are like, what?
You're like the top 1% of the world. Like,
I know a few
World
people
hunger,
who
what
have
is that?
a good bit more than I do. Yeah, a good bit more than I do. I recently just bought, like I said, that other house. So I'm down to, I think 3 million. I think is what I'm at right now.
oh, come on.
But I just bought that
Come on.
big house, so yeah, I still have about 3 million. I'm going for the other one so I can get the count title for having all 3 of the big houses. That has
Right.
nothing in them, obviously. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, no,
At
definitely.
least decorate them.
See,
Like, come on.
I need to have someone do
Aren't you
that
a master
for me.
crafter?
I do, and I have almost every recipe in the game too. I just haven't had the time to sit down and actually go, yeah, this will look good. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Hey, people love housing streams, man. I'm telling you. I mean,
I
there you go.
can't.
Just sit down, stream it.
I could. I should at some point, but I'm so, I don't know. I'm weird. Like I feel like I should have a much higher decorating sense than what I do, but I realize I really have no decorating sense whatsoever. So what I just need to do is hire someone to do it for me, and just say this is
Just
kind of
craft. Just craft everything and let Taste do it.
she's not any better. So yeah, we're
Well, just wait a couple years until Ezra does it then.
right. Yeah, he might be able to. He's probably much better than we are, so he might be able to pull that off. He might be able to do that. But yeah, so I've been doing my dailies every day to sign in and get that done, and I've been selling tempers and things like that in order to keep money. The other big thing is if you're doing writs. Writs are amazing for cash.
I've been doing grits. I never made any money out of it.
You have to be willing to sell what you get though. You can't hoard it.
I don't get anything. That's the problem. Like maybe 5 writs. Maybe every 5 writs I get a temper. Like that's it.
Well, also got to remember there is a there is a trait that you can actually get to increase your chances of getting stuff out of those bags. I don't know if you realize that or not. It's
What?
Yeah. So if you go under crafting, and let's do blacksmithing for instance, there's the minor hireling. Doing 1 gets you the mail every day, but having the 3 increases the chance that you're gonna get stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
you should have told me this sooner.
Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do. Like if you don't have 3 in there, you're not going to get gold items. I think 3.
All the writs I've been doing.
Yeah, no, if that minor one actually, and they send you stuff too. But I think that affects that. The writs themselves, they have a pretty low chance, but I get a lot from that. And I also, like I said, the mailings, like that's another thing I get from them. That's where you put those 3 points in there and I almost get at least a temper every single day from doing that.
Yeah, well, probably because I don't have the skill then. I thought that my hireling was just a hireling. I didn't know it affected the writs in any way.
Well, I don't think it affects the writs. The writs you just
what does
do.
it affect then?
No, they're just RNG. But the hirelings augment the amount of tempers you're actually going to get.
From what?
From their daily mails. You get 2 mails a day from them, I think it is, every 12 hours.
Okay.
And with 3 of them, it's a fairly good chance you're going to actually get a writ. Like, not a writ, but a gold item out of it.
Yeah, okay, but a temper a day is only like 6k gold. And let's say you got all 3 of the gold things, you still only get 10k a day. 10k a day is nothing.
Actually,
you make
it's more like
10k
12K.
just by running... Okay, 12k, whatever. You make 12k by just running 1 dungeon and selling everything to a vendor.
Do you?
If you want. Like, that's... Yeah, they sell.
Okay, so let me ask you
100
this.
gold a piece.
So you get 12k a day, but you're also doing that, so now you're up to 24k. So you're making double of what someone who's just doing a dungeon stuff is.
Yeah, but it won't make you 15 million gold.
It
with
will if you do it on
hirelings.
multiple characters. that's where you start making lots of money is when you like all the characters that I have are generally crafting.
So you basically have a human farm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have other characters who sign in and do writs every day. I don't do it on as many I know people do it on like 14 characters. I don't do that. I do it on 3, I think it is, and I do fairly well. So
Okay.
yeah. I only do 3.
I can see that.
Yeah. Ooh, and I just started researching my very last item. So now I'm 9 traits in rings, and I'm researching my last trait for necklace. So then I'll be a 9 of 9 crafter and everything again. Woo!
Nice.
In a month, 27 days. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But like I said, so that's been fun. The Litany of Blood has really been fun, and I've been trying to do that. Like I've been doing research on this one. Again, doing this one all blind. The Litany of Blood, though, is very obscure. The only thing that I've been doing is what I found out is you can tell by the eye. Like it gives you like all these different random clues that really don't mean much. They may mean something, but sometimes they just feel like nonsense. But every single one of your Litany of Blood targets has a 1 blind eye.
Yeah, so but I'll feel like that's cheating. So I don't use it.
What? The 1 blind eye?
Looking at the eye. Yeah.
Why? That's the biggest
I only
clue.
use it to confirm my... No, but that's very obvious. I only use it to confirm that it's my target.
But you know they're
Otherwise,
also
I'll
in
just...
the city. That's the other thing is anytime it says in the city, that's where they're going to be. They're not going to be anywhere else. So.
Yeah, I know. They are where they are, but like all the clues, all the other clues, there are things like their clothes, their hair color.
Yeah,
it gives you those clues, but if you can just run around looking at people's eyes, and that's cheating.
Well, that's what I do. That's how I found it.
Well, you're a noob, so
no.
It's expected.
Yeah, I've just been running around looking for ones that have a blind eye, and then I kill them. It's great. Works for me.
There's no fun in that.
I don't know about that.
Cheat your way.
Ishaboo, thank you for the resub. You are awesome. 4 months in a row. I already said thank you in the beginning of the show, but resubbed again. Isha. I see.
Thank you. Yeah.
Kit the Traveler in there and Sean OU. They just kind of hate me at this point, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's because you didn't say hello to them.
I know, but
I did because Aggelos is a noob and I'm not. Yes.
Well, I also have multiple houses, so you can rent one from me.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
putting your money into this, huh? I'm bringing. Okay, I see how it is.
Sorry,
Do you see this, people? How gold made him evil?
I'm telling you.
How old gold made him high and mighty?
Wow. Yeah. I'm at this point just gonna turn all of Tamriel into like tenement housing, and everyone could just rent from me, and I will just be like the richest guy in Tamriel at this point.
Why don't you just bribing the dungeon bosses off as well, because your 6-star doesn't work?
Well. 60% of the time it works every time. So, and I mean, come on now. We got Jessica talking about it, so that's pretty much a win right there. I could never be more happy about my Sexplar. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing. I actually had one good night of streaming, some ESO, and it was really just running around and exploring Vardenfell. And I know I was talking with Ika Sugami. She was in chat, and we were talking back and forth about the concept of finding all this was a lot of fun, but because it really does. It takes you out in the middle of nowhere, right? Like, there's no reason why at least a handful of these tombs you're looking for would be anywhere. Like, there would be no reason for you to actually be out there at any point in time unless you were... Oh, I found my target. Why? Because she's blind in one eye. But I have to wait. There's too many people around, so I'll just sneak up behind it.
Also, hold on. I'm gonna time out my friend Golik there because he just called me a milk drinker, and you don't do that.
Oh,
You don't. That's not gonna fly, Golik.
I feel like I should
That's
mod
not
him
gonna
for
fly,
that.
man. You don't call a Nord milk drinker, my friend. At least not here, not on the podcast. Not gonna let it fly.
Well, he didn't call a Nord a milk drinker. He called an elf a milk drinker.
I will smack you through the internet.
Yeah, I feel like he was within his rights there. All right. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the Tales of Tamriel this week. To kind of wrap up that story as well, we were talking about like just the amount of exploration it took to find all 30 of them, and how I felt like Morrowind just came out at a bad time for me.
How so?
When it came out, I was not playing ESO much. I wasn't really playing much of anything, to be frank. And so it came out, and I didn't do hardly anything in Morrowind. You know, I was waiting on the Ace if she wanted to play. You know, I was so far behind in the quest lines of stuff, but I was waiting. And then Morrowind comes out, and I didn't play it for months. And by the time I finally got around to actually playing it, Somerset was already announced. I'm like, oh, so now I have like 3 months to finish all of Morrowind, you know, before it's over. So I didn't really get to enjoy it like I think I probably would have had I had the time to do it when it first came out, because Morrowind was my favorite Elder Scrolls. So I just didn't get as much time to actually play it as I probably wish I would have.
What about Somerset? Now that it's like, are you playing Somerset the way you would enjoy an expansion now?
Yes.
Okay,
and I finished
that's good,
everything
at
in
least.
Somerset.
Oh, so you finished everything in the most high elven zone and called me an elf.
Well, yes, because I had to mark all the traders. You know, and they all knew you. You're like a first name basis with all the elves. They're like, oh, we love Arkhaniir. He's our champion.
That's the thing. I haven't played Somerset with Arkhaniir at all as a character, so
they must know you by reputation then, I guess, as the elf lover.
You're lying.
Oh, that's weird. North and East Bridge. All right, whatever. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about the news. What do we got on the docket?
Right. So we have a quick to mention, which is the September daily rewards.
Ooh,
Let me pull up the image real quick right here.
And I'm actually going to pull it up here on stream too, because it's right there. So if you're watching it, you'll have it right there.
Right. So as you can see, we have, again, bunch of consumables to, trash. Some crown tripods, which can be useful while leveling Talwar Alliance points. We have I think that's the... I forgot the name. Wild something.
Hunt. Yep, we get 2 Wild Hunt
crates.
Yeah.
And that's all, actually. In terms of crown crates this month, September, we only get 2 crown crates. We get a lot of scrolls again. That's good. I think those are research scrolls and an experience scroll. But what is most
I'd say there's actually Grand Gold Coast experience scrolls, which is 150 on the second week. So yeah, there's a lot of consumables this month.
I thought that was a research scroll, but I'm actually glad that it's Grand Gold Coast, because that's very useful when leveling a new character. You just pop that scroll and do daily battlegrounds and daily random normal dungeon, and bam, you have like 5 levels. It's insane. But what is most important is 100k gold in cash at the end of September as the 28th reward. Wait, is that 28?
Yeah, 28 days.
Yeah. So you'll get 100k in gold. Now, I know to people like Aggelos it doesn't mean much, but to an average player, unlike you think who has 3 million gold, 100k gold that's actually going to be a very important bonus. There's also a costume that I cannot tell what it is from the little image on the right side.
Hold on, let me pull that up here. I just moved. What was it? Oh, the Skull Damask Jerkin is a costume that we're gonna get.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So really, that's
so,
the only
yeah.
cosmetic we're getting out of this entire month. Everything else is a consumable of some kind, with the exception of the Wild Hunt crown crates, which I won't say is a cosmetic. There's a good chance you'll get something, but there's also a good chance that you won't. So, keep that in mind.
All right. But yeah, this was quick to mention. This is not the part of news that we want to talk about. The part of news that we want to talk about is today, or rather tonight, last night, whatever time zones, it doesn't really matter. There was an event presentation / live stream from Bethesda team, Rich Lambert, Mike Finnegan, Brian Wheeler, Jessica Folsom, and Gina Bruno, the 5 companions, actually, if you think about it. The 5 companions of ZeniMax Online Studios had a presentation about Murkmire, the upcoming DLC, and in a 40-minute live stream, we got a bunch of information about it. So I'm going to go over these, and stop me anytime you want to discuss something, and I'll do the same as well.
Okay.
So the main story about Murkmire will apparently be revolving around the treasure hunt, which some Imperial group who is kind of obsessed with preserving the Arkhaniir culture is trying to recover. They don't say, obviously, didn't give spoilers, but the main story basically will be more like a Tomb Raider style, apparently, with puzzles and environmental stuff and things like that. So it's a little bit of exploring and puzzle solving, I suppose, and I like that. I like the idea that when I'm doing story missions, I love the puzzles if they are actually require you to think, and not just like pick and match the tiles. Right? That's not even fancy, but if there's actually proper puzzles, I'll enjoy it.
The problem is, I don't think I've ever seen a game outside of Rift, an MMO game, I should say, where puzzles were good. Okay.
I mean, ESO does it with the texts. Right, so basically clues and things. So you have to read something, and then you have to find it in real world. If you remember, like in Alikir Desert. No, not in Alikir Desert. I was doing Abba's Watch, the Thieves Guild. I was speedrunning Thieves Guild. And there was this gate with 4 warriors on each corners. There was this room.
Yeah.
And the fires in front of them. I couldn't do it because I didn't read anything. And even after reading things, I still couldn't do it because I didn't listen to the NPCs or whatever. And I ended up having you tell me how to pass it. So it felt like, now I still don't know, but it felt like a proper puzzle. Because I couldn't solve it without actually paying attention to stuff.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you that one. That of all the puzzles that have been in the game, that was probably the only one
Could be.
that was at all even remotely difficult. Now, some of Rift's puzzles were insanely difficult. Like, insanely, ridiculously difficult. So, yeah, I'm curious what they're going to do. But I kind of have my doubts that it's going to be anything of note.
I suppose we'll see.
Oh, no.
Hopefully it'll be good.
We'll definitely see. That's just kind of my thought. Is like, I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off. They've never done so before, with the exception of like that one. But,
Well, here's to hoping.
Yeah, right?
So they also talk about the new 4-man arena, the Black Rose Prison. Now, this is a new 4-player arena, and apparently they looked back at the feedback from Dragonstar Arena and Milestorm Arena, and they kind of combined the two. So they said, apparently people are feeling that Dragonstar Arena is too long. Even with a proper group who knows what they're doing, it takes more than an hour and a half at least, because there are so many rounds, so many arenas. You have to clear 40 waves of creatures or whatever to actually complete Dragon's Arena. So they are making Black Rose Prison shorter, actually. It will be 5 arenas instead of 10 from Dragon's Arena and 9 from Milestorm Arena. And they are bringing back the power-ups from Milestorm Arena. You remember those, like, that gives you defense, that gives you more attack bonus, whatever. But this time, these power-ups will be group-centric. The one example they gave was the Soul Stone power-up, or at least the power-up that looks like Soul Stone. And it revives your entire party. It basically reses the entire group. So it's a very good recovery from almost wipe situation.
Gotcha.
And I suppose we'll see more group centric, like maybe give the entire group damage, or I don't know. We'll see, but they're adding more group centric power ups to this Black Rose Prison. They are also obviously going to be rewarding the Black Rose weapons per every other dungeon, like Master weapons from Dragon's Arena, Milestorm weapons from Milestorm Arena, and these will be called Black Rose weapons because apparently prison weapons, calling them prison weapons is not plausible.
Okay.
Yeah. The example Finnegan made was like, if you call them prison weapons, it would have to look like a sharpened toothbrush or something like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
They should.
Shanks,
I think they should all look like shanks. It's a shank axe. It's a shank dagger. It's a shank staff.
Exactly. Shank weapons. So one example they showed was the Black Rose Greatsword, which makes Uppercut deal 50% of its damage as an AoE to the 2 other targets next to the primary target. So with this, Uppercut could become an AoE, and I don't know if that would be plausible in PvP, but
PvP
actually,
yeah.
I don't know which it would be more plausible in PvE or PvP. I suppose PvP, because in PvE most bosses are singular anyway.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get a whole lot out of PvE from it because people aren't using Wrecking Blow. Like, I don't know of anyone who does Wrecking Blow compared to any other thing that's out there.
Yeah.
Wrecking Blow it takes too long to wind up. Now the Empower's nice, but it still just doesn't compare to everything else. Now, the exception to that is in PvP. Dizzying Swing is pretty much used all the time, but I don't know if that would be enough.
Even Wrecking Blow in PvP, like, you use it just before an ultimate, and boom, your ultimate deals 20% more damage. It can be deadly if it crit procs, like if it's a critical hit. Now, it really depends on the range of the AoE, I suppose, like how close the 3 targets will have to be for this to spread the damage. If it's pretty far away, then it could be very good in situations of 1 versus 3 and things like that. But I suppose we'll have to see see all the other weapons as well. But there you go, we'll get more weapons out of it. Apparently, this arena, this is an information they gave. Apparently, this arena was built by a Dunmer Akavir. Like, I couldn't understand it. It was 5 a.m. in the morning, you know. I don't know, but they said it was built by Akaviri long ago by a Dunmer in a single day. The Black Rose Prison. A Dunmer, Akavir, I was confused there, so we didn't have much time to, like, detail that either, so I kind of skipped it, but there's a bit of information like that as well. I suppose we'll learn when the dungeon releases.
Seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, I may have misunderstood it, but it was just as a piece of information there, so I just mentioned it.
Yeah, no.
Now that was the PvE side of Murkmire. There's also a huge PvP side, and there's a huge update to Cyrodiil. They are bringing destroyable bridges.
Really?
So you remember that bridge to Alessia Castle, from Ebonheart Pact site to Alessia, Castle Alessia, which is almost always zerged all the time, infinitely.
Yeah.
Back and forth. The Ebonheart Pact zerg pushes to the Castle Alessia. AD Zerg pushes us back to the Bleak Rock outpost, if I remember correctly. It might be Sejanus. Either way, to the outpost. We push back to Castle Alesia, and that bridge is constantly farmed. They are now made those 3 bridges along the Nibene, whatever river that
Nibene.
is.
Yeah.
Nibene River, yeah. That 3 bridges on it, the massive stone bridges, that is. They are now destroyable. You actually destroy them with the siege weapons like you are destroying siege walls. And at first, like, you lose the towers on the bridges, and then the sides of the bridges go down. So you can actually, if you're not careful while running, or you got hit by a knockback effect, you can drop to the water, and then it becomes very narrow, and then it gets destroyed. And you can destroy them with friendly fire, enemy fire, and repair in both ways. So they are neutral. They cannot be captured. So let's say you saw a huge AD Zerg coming through the bridge, right? Start destroying it. Immediately, a defensive distraction. You stop the Zerg. They also made the mile gates, the 6-mile gates with the gates and the walls that separate Cyrodiil into different areas.
Yeah.
They are now destroyable as well in the same way. But when obviously, if what do you do if everything is destroyed? They added these goat paths, right? The difficult to pass areas, basically broken wooden bridges that you have to do a jumping puzzle, sort of. Not a jumping puzzle, but if you're not careful, you are going to drop into the water and slaughterfish will eat you, kind of thing. They added caves between the zones as well. But these are all choke points. And you won't be able to fight properly in these points, especially those bridge-like structures, because you'll be jumping through it and things like that. So defensively destroying a bridge or a mile gate will make a lot of sense to stop a Zerg from advancing, because a Zerg won't be able to pass through that. You will be just able to AoE them down or defend it with siege weapons. Because it's a narrow choke point. Yeah.
I started looking at the map. I'm sitting there going, why in the world are there only bridges? Like, why did only the AD? But now I'm seeing what you're saying. They're making mile gates that are on the northern side, essentially the same thing as bridges. If you break them down, they're not gonna.
Yep.
They're not gonna work. I gotcha. All right.
Exactly.
I got it. It's the same mechanic and system. It's just a different visual because there's no water in that area. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Makes more sense.
So they are also adding new outposts, because in this system, the Crapsford outpost. Now the Crapsford outpost is misplaced in terms of how to say it. It's when you destroy these bridges and everything like that, the Crapsford outpost stands out. So they are adding new outposts to balance Crapsford. Okay. So everybody has a outpost placed like Crapsford compared to these bridges and things like that. So these are new changes to Cyrodiil, and I think this will bring a whole new life to Cyrodiil action, because Cyrodiil has been the same for the past 4 years. Exactly same. And you would just Zerg, Siege, Zerg, Siege, Zerg, Siege, rinse and repeat. Now it could be a little more tactical. Communication within the alliance could be much more critical. If someone is saying, okay, Zerg is going towards this bridge, people there, maybe just 2 or 3 person, could destroy the bridge before the Zerg arrives there to, stop it or delay it, give enough time to people to, gather up at the castle that might get attacked, to defense against the Zerg and things like that. So I'm actually looking forward to it. There are also... Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you. I think that's a good change overall. Yeah.
Yep. There are also quality life updates.
Okay.
So not apparently, I've been experiencing this as well. Crowd control being unreliable. It just never works. If the target is already moving, crowd control usually either misses, doesn't work, both in PvE and PvP. Especially the crowd control like Talons. Talons has been the most unreliable crowd control I've experienced. They are re-architecting it. exact word. Like changing how it works in the base code, basically, to make it more reliable. So that's one thing, and I'm happy about it, because I am sick of applying crowd control and the mobs still running away
Yeah.
and then doing their attacks. Like, stop! I just stopped you. They are adding undo and redo history to housing. So if you mess up something, you'll be able to undo it. If you mess up something, if you mess it up more, I say you can redo it.
It's kind of hard to mess up when my houses are empty, but okay, I get it, appreciate it.
There will be item grouping in the house. This has been a huge trouble. Let's say you decorated a table, right? The table being the main object. You put 30 items on it. Forks, plates, food, I don't know, breads, drinks, all the things. And then you want to move the table. What happens now is that you move the table, everything just floats, stands there. And you have to take every single item again and place every single item back on the table. Now what you can do now is take all those items and make them the child or group object of the table, and you move the table, everything moves. That is gonna be huge for every housing people in ESO.
Yeah, no, that's actually really awesome to see. And I mean, to be frank, I don't know why they didn't do that before. Because I mean, it's object oriented programming at that point. You create the that's essentially what they're doing, is they're just allowing us the same techniques that any other coder would have to be able to place other objects inside of the first object, so they're all linked together.
I mean, I assume their engine already provides it as well, because both Unity and I think Unreal Engine does, like, basically child objects.
Yeah.
You make an object the child of another object, you move the other, like the parent object, the child goes where the parent object goes. It follows the rotation, transform, like everything. So basically, they added that into the housing as well, which is great.
It might not have been something they even thought about, you know. It was like, oh yeah, it's been available, but people, you know, are like maybe complaining about it, being like, so kind of sucks when I move a table and everything's still floating there.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. Like I don't always think about all these things, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Now I didn't see this information on the video because I was going through the video fast as well, so we don't delay the stream too much. But I saw Coco Michelle 11, one of the ESO family members on Elder Scrolls Online community to Twitch streamers, tweet this: character reordering in selection screen is apparently going to be a thing.
That's cool.
And Rich Lambert and whatever liked this, so I assume it's a correct information. They wouldn't have done so if it was wrong. But yeah, I will love that. I will love that. It's a very tiny, weeny thing, but
World of Warcraft actually did that a few years ago. And I don't know about you, but I like my main on top. I know it's stupid, and some people don't really care, and some people are like, well, that seems like a stupid change. But for me, no, I like my main on top, and that's just that they're right there. So I know when WoW added that, even before ESO came out, that was something I was like, for such a simple change, I really appreciate that, you know?
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. So final thing, Clockwork City. No, the Murkmire zone will be similar to Clockwork City's size in terms of how big it is.
Okay.
And it will be on PTS September 17th.
Oh.
And yeah.
That's pretty soon.
Yeah, just 2 weeks, 15 days from 2 weeks and a couple days.
Yeah.
From now on,
give or take. That's exciting.
And that was it.
That's real exciting to see. I don't know if this one was marked in here or if I heard this somewhere else. So did you hear about, I know they were talking about Templars and biting jabs being so hard to hit, especially in PvP. So I know they're going to change that, but I haven't heard anything about how they were going to change it. But
I didn't see it, but they may have talked about it. Like as I said, I was
I could have swore I saw it
kind of
somewhere.
fast forwarding through the live stream, but
Yeah.
maybe they mentioned it along with the crowd control thing. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know if it was in this live stream. I think I saw it in notes somewhere saying how the Templars biting jabs is so hard and so easy to avoid. So they were going to do something for that because it really is. It's very hard. Even though it's a conal, you would think it's fairly easy. It does not land that often because people could just walk out of it way too quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a problem with ESO's combat system being so dynamic, I think. Because, for example, a wrecking blow. You can never hit wrecking blow because people move around like crazy. You can never hit crowd control properly because people move around like crazy. Biting jabs, people move around like crazy. So all those skills are very difficult to, like, unless it's a single target spell or a skill that just jumps on the or directs like projectiles at your target, things don't really hit.
yeah.
So like they either have to overhaul the entire hit registering system, perhaps. Then there are also problems with those though, because when you do that, you have to make calculations pre-animation, or like you have to register the hit before it actually does in order to make it a definite 100% hit. And in that sense, when you do that, then it gets ugly because, hey, I moved out of that and I still got hit. I dodged that, I still got hit. It opens up a whole new series of problems as well. So it really depends on how they are handling in the in their code, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I know they have it named biting jabs, but I honestly hated biting jabs, the animation. I really wish they would have just changed it, changed the name, changed the whole animation. But you know, that's me.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
So yeah, that's about it as the news for this. I mean, there's something I think you added here, but I don't know if you are gonna talk about. Well, I don't even know what this is.
Hold on, I have to find it. Wait, where is it at?
It's called class rep
Yep.
notes.
Yep. Nope. That was.
Oh, this is a huge list.
This is a huge list. This is where I saw it, I think. This was actually a note, and I'll have it in the list. We're not going to talk about it today because it's massive and a lot of detail. I knew I saw it somewhere.
I mean, not biting jabs, but there are a bunch of classic. It's probably in here somewhere. Yeah.
Anyway, a bunch of the class rep people, community members who are helping ZeniMax kind of figure out how to do their classes. You know, they provide constructive feedback for some of the pain points and things for different classes. And they had a meeting. When was this? 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Yeah. And this was posted on the Elder Scrolls Online Reddit from Dominoid. And these are things that they're looking to do for Update 20. The one thing is that they mentioned is that, you know, this is something we all know. In PvE, dual wield is almost required in all points because of the Blade Cloak skill. And because of that skill alone, well, pretty much one of the reasons why you can't get away or use two-handers and be considered competitive, because, hey, you can't get away from that Blade Cloak. But, you know, Templars needing an ultimate for burst damage because they really don't have one. Agree that Templars fighting over repenting corpses is undesirable. Yeah. If only they would have had that a while ago when I was always complaining, like, hey, they stole my repentance. But yeah, that was a thing. And of course, they said about a few other things that they had in there. But we'll have that in the list. It's a good read because this was stuff that they had brought up to Zen. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to change anytime soon. but it's something that if you read through it, I'm sure you guys would agree with a lot of it going, yeah, it makes sense because something just doesn't feel right about a lot of these classes. And it's a good read. So I'll have that in the list as well. So Ark, I think that's going to be about the end of our show because we're nearing that hour point now as it is. And it's like 1 a.m. here. So...
Oh, it's 1 a.m. there. Very nice.
Yeah, 12, yeah.
The sun has risen here. Anyway,
nice.
well, you can you can find me anywhere that Arkhaniir, that is ARKHANIIR. I am streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/Arkhaniir. You can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/Arkhaniir. I have a guild on PC European Mega Server that is not officially a DCN guild, just to put it out there. We don't have a participation system, but if you want to play with me on PC European Mega Server, we do dungeons and pledges and stuff, especially without healers. That's our current aim. Isha joins us. She's in chat. She's amazing. But yeah, you can send me a message in-game at Arkhaniir as well.
Nice.
That's it.
And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Aggelos, AGGELOS_DCN. Of course, you can check out everything we do, DungeonCrawlerNetwork.com. That has links to all of our social media, including our Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all that fun things that I never actually remember to mention because, well, you know, it is the way it is. But you can check that out. Be sure to check out our Patreon program at patreon.com/DungeonCrawlerNetwork, where you can support the show. You can also support us by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes it matters. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we'll see you next time. See you later, everybody.
Have a good night.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magicka fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to Chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.